Yeah, so this is Bevy Virtual 2.0, as Morgan mentioned. We've literally rebuilt the entire thing from scratch. So we had a version 1, and now we've got a version 2, completely different technologies, different providers, everything. Not only did we enhance the video quality, it used to be just basic like videos, now full HD. It used to be 720s, now 1080p. Our screen sharing, screen recordings, any issues we had there, that's all been resolved, obviously. But the big one is the global mesh network, and having expanding and growing in your communities. This is where the key really comes in. Before, everything was routed via one service. If you were in America and your attendee was in India, it would all go through the American server and back. Now it's a mesh network, so it works really well at the global level. It works so well that I've actually was on a call this last week with people in China, and it worked perfectly fine in those areas, which I was actually quite pleased about. And then obviously we changed the whole look and feel to be much more modern. This is the legacy look and feel of the old events, the buttons, the bottom, etc., etc. And then this is now, as you can see, the new look and feel. We've decided to move this bar to the other side. Just makes more sense. Okay, so things that are included with this is obviously the normal stuff, the chats, DMs, the stuff which in the chats and in the DMs. We've got threading, we've got replies, we've got both of those, which you never had before. We've got the breakout rooms, we've got the analytics, etc. But now you can also switch between different views. So you can either have the speaker view or the attendee view, which when I stop sharing, you'll be able to do that. I'm sharing screen now, so stuck in that mode. We've got the quotes in chats, we've got the replies in chats. We've got the unread messages and notifications that pop up, which we never had before, so you didn't know what was going on. Now you can see, oh, recording started, oh, recording has stopped, etc., etc. Last week, we switched on auto record. So the minute a host joins a call, it instantly starts recording. So you don't have to remember to hit that auto record button, which is really nice. And obviously, all the recordings are saved nicely. And then we've also got a slew of other more features, which I'll be showing you after this. Yeah, so Bevy conferences, will be releasing that next week or the week thereafter, so that's coming out soon. And yeah, that's basically the talk track. Wow, okay, I haven't seen that for a while. But what I can say is that if you look at the platform right now that you're in, you'll see at the bottom we were growing that bar and was getting bigger and bigger and bigger with all the options. So we've consolidated, making it a bit more clear. You've got your chats, DMs, and Q&A right next to each other. In the future, I'm going to try and bring it to the sidebar so it's easier to manage, but that is there for now. But if you click on the More button, you should see Raise Hand. Which, as you can see, if you raise your hand, it's very, very nice. Are you a moderator? You actually are a moderator. If people were not moderators or on the stage, you'd actually get a queue of who raised their hand first. And the minute you click accept, they immediately come onto the stage. And good to go. And because they've done their testing and everything before they even come in, them getting onto the stage is so instant. It's crazy fast, which is really nice. So that's the great part about that. And then we've also got breakout rooms, transcriptions. So if you click on transcriptions, you can see everything. So if you scroll down, you should have seen a little box that opens up on the side. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll see all the transcriptions, and it'll actually start scrolling automatically. I've got a South African accent, and this is live, so it's not perfect. But we also have got AI transcriptions post-event. And we literally do this one live, and then we redo it with the post-event, and the accuracy is about 60% more accurate. And you get that transcription as well. And then we take that transcription and run a summary on it. So you get an AI summary of your event after every event, if it's recorded. We only do this on the recordings, obviously. If it's not recorded, there's no post-event transcriptions or summaries or anything, because we do it off the recording. And then we've also got the simulcast and enable captions. So enable captions and transcriptions is the same tool and technology. We're just showing it in different places. Some people like the transcriptions, they can scroll up and down. Other people like the closed captions, they can read it right there without having to look all over the place. And then the second part is the help icon. If you click help, you'll be able to see your connection status. So it should be green or orange arrows around there.
Your bottom right, Jesse.
Got it. Okay. So it should be green or orange or some status over there. If it's green, that's good. Also, you can see your quality. It's nice for you as a presenter to see, is my connection good or not? And so you can see what others are experiencing. Below that is a test network. So if anybody is having issues, anybody on this call, whether they are a speaker or presenter, anything, they'll get these. They can test their network and see what's going on. So if there's somebody, maybe a speaker's backing to come on or whatever, just say, hey, click the help button, click a test network, go through that flow and let us know what's going on. Otherwise, reach out to us at support. If they do reach out to us at support, please ensure to copy the support ID. Okay, do you see the support ID there? Yeah, make sure, like, if there's any issues, like I can't hear, I can't do anything, say, go to help, get support ID, send me the support ID to you or to whoever moderators on the call or whatever, and then get them to send a support ticket to us at Bevy, or maybe you can do it on their behalf. Without that support ID, I can't see what's going on. With that support ID, I can see exactly what's going on, what the connection was like, everything, and it helps me a lot with everything. And then below the help icon is the, you should see like your picture. I think you've got a picture. Let's see what you've got. Yeah, you've got a picture. If you click on your picture, you'll see your tickets, your profile, your settings, and view event. And view event is very nice because you can click on view event. It'll take you back to your event, and then you can get into the dashboard. And you can make changes to the event. It was very difficult to get to your event before. So I just like a bugbear of mine. It's like, nope, we're going to put that button in. And then, of course, you can log out, which would be a bit weird, but you can do it anyway if you wish. One thing to note is if you do go to your profile and you change your name, it will not change your name in this instance here right now. The way that you do change your name is simply refresh the page. So if you refresh this page, it'll bring you back in and it'll ask you to change your name, and that's where you can change your name in the head check. Okay, so somebody's like, oh, my name's wrong. Just time to refresh your browser. You miss a few minutes of content, but refresh your browser, type in your name, and come back in, and you'll have the right name. Okay. So I just wanted to call that one out.
Too, because I was about to do it, but I feel like I need to say what I'm doing before you get a pop-up or whatever. Okay, so Jesse, we've been playing around. I'm guessing you did the emoji on the chat. So you see how the chat works. It's cool because you can do emoji responses, whatever. Your guys' chats are usually, I feel like, kind of active. So folks can also quote people to reply. All of that's really useful. There's Q&A. And this is a piece, and I want to hear how you guys or how your organizers are doing this right now in Zoom. But yeah, so at the bottom, there's a Q&A thing. You can start the Q&A so people get the notice like, hey, Q&A started. And this is something I've liked when I'm running a larger event is you can break out Q&A from like the general, just like community building chat, right? So it'd be like, how does this work, right? That pops in there. And then you as a speaker, you can do a few things. Do you have the Q&A box open on your right now?
Yes. Oh, shoot. I had questions that I was typing in the chat. And then when I clicked Q&A, what I was typing went away. Fuck.
Oh, you can go back to the chat. But if you click Q&A on the bottom little screen thing, on the bottom menu. Yep. Okay, so you have it up. And I've put a question there. How does this work? People can upvote, right? Which is pretty cool. As a moderator, I can click on the question. I can dismiss it. So if it's like spammy or I don't want people to see that, I'm like, get rid of this. Or if it's duplicated, right? You can reply in text. So if there are two people, like say you were speaking and DeMario was helping you moderate, he could put something on like in here, like this is how. So someone can start to like answer the questions via text. But then also once you answer it live, a moderator can click answer live and it says like, hey guys, she responded to this earlier in the conversation or whatever. You're getting a ton of questions. See how people are upvoting them? Right under where it says Q&A, you can sort them by new or most voted, which I feel like would be huge. Like, again, if I think about a big event, a global event like your psychedelics one, which, you know, I'm going to refer to as an example forever, you're going to get like 100 questions. It's going to be wild. So it's like, let's actually figure out what the people care about and make sure those things are answered. Just for me, thinking about, like, obviously there's a ton of parity with Zoom or with Google Meet or whatever else people are using. For me, why I think about this for you guys and want us to explore it is it works really well for a community type of event or environment, right? Like if I'm a speaker, this type of thing is really useful when I'm managing a lot at once on a bunch of screens. So I really like this piece. But also too, in terms of you getting reports after the fact of like transcriptions, the chat, all the Q&A that came through, like all of that lives in one place in Bevy for you, even if something didn't happen on your Zoom or a Culture Amp Zoom, or the organizer doesn't get that stuff to you afterwards, like you're going to get a lot more reporting visibility into what's happening in the virtual events across all your chapters. And that's where I feel like it could be useful for you, or if we're thinking about like sentiment tracking and like analyzing stuff that way, we can look together afterwards at the chats, the Q&A, all of that. So those are big things. We've shown you a lot in here. Why, like, what are y'all doing now and why? And
yeah. Well, this is awesome. It's come a long way since like we got in here. So kudos to you all on the team. This is exciting. The majority of people use Zoom. There's a handful of people that use Google Meet that are like international. Yeah, there isn't really a strong reason as to like why we don't use this now. Back in the day, it just like made more sense because everyone was using Zoom and everyone already had a Zoom account. So it was like, cool, just use that. I don't care. But now this makes sense as a like tool that we should be rolling out to more of our chapter leads. So my thoughts are like, what kinds of like enablement or training do they need to be able, I mean, yes, it's like pretty intuitive, especially if you've used Zoom before, like a lot of the features are the same. So that's my one thought is like, how might we roll this out? Maybe it's like, obviously I can put this out into like the global newsletter, but what other like resources should I share with folks? Maybe it's a recording or I don't know.
Yeah, I'll drop some documentation in our shared doc. But what I'm also thinking I can do is my hair and makeup and like have a cuter day. And then I can film a recording because I'll often do enablement for smaller communities. Like I'll make an event like this and invite the organizers. Y'all have so many in time zones. I'd rather record it and have something you can send out to them and have in your like wiki that they can refer back to. But that was kind of the vibe I was getting. I was guessing it was more than anything else. It was like people sticking with what they know, and that's why it's happening. So even though you're saying like this is intuitive, they should be able to figure it out. I hate using Google Meet because I'm used to this in Zoom, right? And like in theory, I should be able to figure it out. Like I'm not the most technical. I can use a computer, but just buttons being in a good spot, you know, it's that unfamiliarity, and you're like, I'm going back to what I know. So I would like to get people comfortable. The reason we built this is not like, this was not original Bevy founding core product, right? Like this isn't why we exist, but it helps facilitate what happens on our platform. Because if you think about, and you kind of talked about this a little bit, for Zoom, they have to have a Zoom license they're allowed to use for this stuff, right? So if they're using their work one, sometimes that's kosher, sometimes that's not, but they're doing it anyways because that's what they have. Or they're using a version of Google Meet or Zoom that has a lot of limitations placed on them around event time, how many people, whatever. So that's why we built this. It's like you now can have organizers run a virtual event, not use their work Zoom, and or Culture Amp doesn't have to like spin up Zoom links for some people. Like it's more automated for you, which I feel like is the theme of this year for us.
Yes, for sure. I would plus one to that. Some of my questions that I had were like, is there like a wrap-up email that goes out to the host around like, here's the recording, here's the transcription, here's the AI recap?
So currently the wrap-up email is a standard wrap-up email that gets sent out after every event if you've got that enabled. Or you might have like a post-event survey that you might send out as well to people. But other than that, no, we don't have any video recordings or anything. There's two reasons for that. One is we haven't built that, but the other reason is that the reason why we haven't built that is because most of our organizers want to customize it heavily and have the video and the thing, and they really want to do crazy cool stuff. So it's really up to them create a newsletter, link in the recording, link in everything, and then be able to send that off.
Yes. I just mean to the organizer. It wouldn't be the automated wrap up to everyone. It would just be to the organizer to be like, here's all your stuff, and then go and take this and build your own personal newsletter, whatever.
You know what I'm thinking we do, Jesse? Because there isn't one specifically just like pre-built that's that already. But you know how we're already looking at the language in your wrap-up email to the organizers?
Yeah.
G, correct me on this if this isn't how it could work. We could have one of the bullets be in there. It can be a dynamic tag to the event page. So it's going to be unique to each event.
No, the default event wrap-up to leaders is exactly that. It says go to the wrap-up tab, and it redirects them to the wrap-up tab with everything. So if you've got the default, it should be set up already. If you've customized it, then obviously that's a different story.
That's
right. We don't have the default.
We'll bring that back, but all of it lives in the wrap-up tab, Jesse, which is what's cool for them.
Okay.
So their transcriptions, recording everything. Whereas if it's being done off platform, they have to go hunt it down elsewhere. Like it's not all.
Yeah. So can you basically enable the recording to then be shown publicly, I'm assuming, on the actual event page?
We don't have that functionality yet, but that's now that we are busy doing this auto recordings and stuff, it's becoming great to ask. So if you could formally go to Morgan and say, Morgan, we need this, and Morgan can log it, and Morgan can get more customers that need this, then she can validate why we need to build this out. And I can please get this on the roadmap because I'm dying to do this for 3 years now. So yes,
awesome,
I really want to get
now, that would be awesome because like right now my process is like take the Zoom recording, download it, upload it to YouTube, take that YouTube URL, drop it in the wrap up tab so then it lives on Bevy. But like if this were already like recorded in Bevy Virtual Meetup and all I needed to do was like check, yes, add this video recording to the actual event page, like that'd be baller.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. And it's something that we really do want to do, but we need,
so
please do definitely send us through. One thing to note is that when you do go to your wrap up tab, you'll see a recording over here, and then there'll be some button. When you click that button, it will then create the transcriptions and summaries for you. Okay. So it's a bit of a manual. You have to go and actually select it right now. But you know, these are the kind of improvements, exactly this. So the more people that use the platform, the more feedback we can get, the more I can justify to build this out for our customers. Yeah.
Okay. And those recordings, you can still, those are hosted on Bevy, but can I still download that if I wanted to also put it on our YouTube channel? Okay.
That could be your process.
Those are on AWS, so they're actually not even on Bevy. Those are like in a secure folder, and then you can then download them, and then you upload it to your YouTube channel, Vimeo or something, and then share that out.
Okay. My other questions were, so basically when folks join Bevy Virtual Meetup, it auto basically defaults to what would be a webinar, essentially, like people are on stage or not. And then the host would then get to choose, okay, bring everyone on stage, or like they basically choose for it to be a meeting versus a webinar style on their own.
Either like at event creation, they do that. So on event creation, there's a checkbox. So you can be like, hey, this one's more webinar style. I only want this panel or this speaker on. Or hey, I want it to be more like a grid like this. I've made it interactive. Or say they make it webinar style and then later on they want to bring more people on. You can do that here, like in the event very easily. And I'll send you the articles on all of that, how to do it. It's straightforward.
Okay, cool. Because most of our chapter events, I would say, are more like meeting style. Yes, a lot of the like some of the global chapter events, I even keep meeting style, and then I just like spotlight folks. So, is there a spotlight feature? Is that possible?
No, there's spotlights, but there is if you click on view at the top and you click speaker, it'll change to the speaker gallery, and then you can see that's kind of like spotlighting whoever speaks.
Got it. Cool.
And also, too, you can't see it right now because all three of us are obviously on screen. But you see on the bottom, it says participants. If you click that, a list of everyone in this event will come up for you. You can search. So say you have 100 people in here and you need to search for like Sammy. You search and find Sammy. Here, G did it. Okay, so I have G. He's off camera. If you click the few dots, the 3 dots next to G, and then I toggle on presenter mode, I'm bringing him on stage. Like I'm bringing him back. So a moderator, so like your organizers or you can do that for anybody. or G can see up top, he's requesting presenter mode, and then I can click approve and bring him on. It's kind of like, I think of that like an NPR show, like someone's calling in to like say their comment. Here they can like click that to say like, I want to say my comment live on video. And not everyone sees that, like just people who are moderators see that.
Okay.
That's super
okay,
easy.
yeah.
Use that a lot.
Super clear, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Do y'all remember Clubhouse? LOL.
There it is. That is what this is. 2.0, 3.0 of that.
Oh my God, that's literally a lot. LinkedIn's new fucking features like that. I'm like, this sucks. I'm like, bring back, like, when? Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox about that. I won't go on my rant about that.
Things we should talk about on our next agenda are how to operationalize this. Yeah, enablement. I'll send you that stuff. And then how to operationalize this or create process around it and what you want to do and how you want to communicate it to folks. There in the beginning, you could like tell them like, hey, this is an option, use this. There are a lot of customers I have who were like, we're doing Zoom. Why be weird and force people to do a thing? Used it for like a month. And then we're like, we're going to make it policy that unless they get an exception, they need to use Bevy Virtual Meetup. And the big reasons why are, well, one, like just some of the functionality they get and it works really well for this. And they're not using like not approved Zoom licenses or whatever. But also the data you get. And that's what I want to look at our next agenda and think about. Think about, are there some metrics related to what's happening in your virtual events that we want to pull into like our slide decks that I make for you when you're reporting out? So things like, especially when you guys are thinking about engagement, right? Because that's a big focus right now and making things stickier. We're looking at our returner rate.
Yes.
But thinking about like how active are these chats? How many questions are we getting on average for certain events? You're going to get data on like how long are people staying in virtual events and when are they dropping off? And we can see like, oh, hey, this chapter, for whatever reason, we don't want to put them on blast, but like people keep leaving their events halfway through. Is it not as engaging? Can we look at altering some of the workshops or the content to make it more engaging throughout? See if we're moving the needle at all on that. Like there's different things we can start to dig into that again will give us insight into the value people are getting in your events, not just like who shows up, but then like what happens during.
I'm almost thinking like it would be cool to like, because we could do this now, but running a list of all the events that got hosted in the first half of the year, like a specific quarter, and then all I would have to do is put that into, ChatGPT or whatever and be like, what are the 3 to 4 themes that our community is talking about at their but it would be cool to be able to do that with even transcriptions, not just event titles, because some of them may just be like coffee meetup,
or even your Q&A, because now in your reports you're going to get in like the report download center. I'll show you, there's gonna be an area where you'll see all the questions that came through during a virtual event, not like emailed to folks, whatever. And we can even throw that into something, be like, what's the most frequently asked question this quarter, or the top 5? I think like I just see a lot of opportunity, given that you guys, you're so good about thinking about metrics more so than just like growth and acquisition, but what's actually happening for the folks who are in my community and sticking around, and why are they, and what do they need and want. And it's going to be hard otherwise for me to give you advice on that or get clarity into what's happening once an event starts, unless it's happening on this platform. Cool.
One thing to call out, sorry.
One other thing I was just gonna, before I forget, I was even just thinking about like being able to segment eventually like newsletters of who to send people to, like from a global perspective. I wish that I could like send out a newsletter that was regional, where it could be like all these chapters that are in that are listed as Americas, being able to send an email out directly to them. Because like right now I like have to be kind of like, okay, this email that I'm sending out to everyone is pretty North America focused, but anyway, rather than going to like each individual chapter, I don't even know if that's possible. This is like not related to Bevy Virtual Meetup, but I just wanted to share that out loud before I forgot, because I thought that
it's totally fine. Yeah, because we have to play around with global email more now that they loaded in your recipient list, because that's in it. That's done, which is great. You can select by country, but think if you're doing EMEA, like you're clicking a lot of countries. I hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a side note. Sorry, G, what were you going to say?
No, sorry, I was going back to the Bevy virtual meetup, adding to Morgan like one of the other benefits. But I'm not so sure it's so much for you, but I know for a lot of our organizations, they don't want their leaders to get all the email and RPI email information. So keeping it on Bevy, they don't get those emails. Whereas if they go off to Zoom, they get all the emails of all the people because the people have to join Zoom. So this way you contain your privacy around the email address of who's in your community from your leaders by using Bevy Virtual Meetup.
That's true, and that's actually super important for y'all because you operate globally.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, and you guys, I mean, and you're doing this. I mean, Culture First Chapters program is its own thing, but it is a part of Culture Amp. So from a legal standpoint, that coverage is helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I see the time. I know I have time, and I know we always chat like forever, Jesse, but I want to respect your time too.
I'm good. I'm okay to stay on for a little bit longer, but this is awesome. I think maybe just like thinking through how might I like soft roll this out, not out like, oh, the chapter leads, but you know, targeting the chapter leads that are already hosting a regular coffee meetup and like starting there, and how might I incentivize them to do that, and just things like that is where my brain's going.
Cool.
But we can strategize that, Morgan.
Yeah, we'll add that to our agenda. The good news is you are not the first to be doing this. Y'all are actually, in terms of our customers, probably one of the last, which is a wonderful thing. And like kudos to you because you get to learn from everyone else's experiences.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
One thing you can do, Jesse, is you can get them because I know with running a community, you get to know your good directors or leaders. So reaching out to them, getting them to try it out and asking them for feedback. Saying, listen, use this 3 or 4 times, and this is the kind of feedback. By the 3rd or 4th time they've used it, they get to know it and they get to like it and assist in this. And they're going to create Zoom things. So then they'll get brought in. And once you've got your noisy, powerful super users in, they start helping to push the rest of it down. And also it allows you to get feedback because, for example, the AI summary right now is like a paragraph long. You might go to me, gee, that's not good enough. We actually want this or that or something. And then I can go back to the team and go, like, how can we improve this AI summary so you guys don't have to do the AI summary? We can do that for you. Or maybe we can get it to a point, which I'm hoping to do like middle next year, but is where you can actually put in what your prompt is and you create your own prompt from that, things that's automatic for you in your format and anything that you want for you as a company. So these are the kind of things we're looking at. All the feedback, everything, like, is chat working great? Is it slow? Do they not like Q&A because jumping all over the place or whatever? I don't know, whatever the case might be. Like, let's get that feedback so we can then fix that and make it a great experience for them.
Super cool. Yay!
Thank you for checking it out. Do you have other topics, things you're bringing that you want to sync on today, like normal meeting stuff?
I do have a couple things.